seo ke se fumanang lapeng yeso mona le ha pelo ya ka e sithabetse ha bohloko ditaba tsa Ntshadi tsa nthimela ba sa nthimela pele Ntshadi ya tsamaya empa le ha o le jwalo he ha o ya ka ba moholwane ka hare o lelapa ya ba wena o tshwarang bana ka letsoho ba supisa le menyako ya thuto le menyako ya le ha ho le monate le ha o le bohloko o tshwanetse ho ena ha wa tshwanela ho be le mohla o hlolehang ka o tjho jwalo he ke ema ke le dumedisa moruti ke hlompha ba lelapa ho ya ka ho hlahlamana ha bona ke hlompha phutheho e leng teng ka jeno ba ke hlompha ba lekgotla la ha Ntshadi le Ntshadi ya neng a le kena ha sa le pensioneng mohlomong ke hlompha le kereke ya e kenang haebaneng e le teng mona ke hlompha le setjhaba se seholo se tlang se lla ho tloha kwana ba le mona haufinyana moo re leng teng bakwena bana re kopane ka jeno re tlolla moswang bakwena ba hapete ba ha Mokgatjhane ba ha Mopedi ba ha Mohale bakwena bohle re kopane mona mo ngwanelo wa Ntshadi Peete ngwana rangwane a tsamaileng ka jeno mona mo e leng letsatsi la hae empa ne he ke ne ntse ke sa rate ho ba motelele hakakang ke ne ke so ka ba ke itukisa hantle ne ke bolela fela hore lapeng lena ke la ka fihla ka ba moholo ha ba le batho ba nsupisang ha Mohale mane mo ke nyetsweng teng ba re sekolo sona seo so nyolohetseng ho sona e le mohlane ke fihla sekolong sena tshebedisano ha sekolo sona seo so nyolohetseng ho sona o kwa tumele ho sona o kene mono o tla thola hore ke lapeng leno mono ke hapete ke hara ngwana wa motlwang o tla tseba le wena mabitso ha o fihla mono e se ha ke kena ka hare ho lelapa lena ka fihla ka nnete ka tseba mmangwane mmina mohatsa rangwane wa ka a neng a holetse ha bomme kwana moreneng ha batshweu ha nkgono Majoro ya hola le kgaitsedi ya malome Joro ka tseba le rangwane wa ka ne ntse ke utlwantse ho bua ka ena hore rangwana o lena le borangwane ha le tsamaela mo Gauteng le fihla ha le ne twai ka nnete ka fumana rangwane Motlwang Peete ka fihla ka tseba ha la he ka hare ho lelapa lena Ntshadi sa ntsane le ngwananyana he a ntse a qala kena dikolo mona mohlomong na kena le hona ho sona sena ke tsebe hakakang ha sa ditse Ntshadi ke mo tseba haholo ha sa kena itshepeng mohlomong haeba o la kena ho sena mara he o la tloha ha ya primary ya hae Ntshadi ya fihla etsa itshepeng mane mo Ntshadi a neng a etsa mono bile e le moithuti mmoho le ngwanabo e ne le a monyanyana ho nna neng a dula le nna ke la ka dula cottage yona e leng Mirriam Mpolokeng Mokgatjhane jwalo ka mo tseba he Ntshadi mono sekolong seno a hlile a rutwa ke lelapa la matitjhere ao re a tsebang wa tseba ha ka hare ntho ya botitjhere le a tla lebe lelapa a rutwa ke malapa mono ntlheng ya principal ya Ntate Mokgethi a rutwa ke matitjhere mono bo Ntate Lucas Meerane a rutwa ke bomme Mangri he ke ka ba qeta kaofela bo Ntate Josh Mokoena ba neng ba mo ruta Ntshadi mono Tshepeng ya re Ntshadi le ha sa ile mono ana a tsamaya le dikolo tsena a tsamaya le dikolo tsena ya re ha phethetse dithuto tsa hae tsa high school Ntshadi a ka tswa le yena he a ya mane sedibeng sa matitjhere e santsane e bitswa Soweto College of Education Ntshadi a fihla ho rupellwa tsena tsa dithuto he hona mono ya re Ntshadi le ha tshileng Ntshadi a ska kgautsa titjhere wa tseba ha se motho a kgautsang a re ke kgauditse mo wa ithuta hobane education ka ofela e ntseng e tla ya setjhaba sena se diteng ka ofela re fumana mona ho titjhere Ntshadi a nna intshetsa pele ya ba Ntshadi wa ngodisa di-university tsena tse kgolo tsena tse kareng bo UNISA a ka qala a nyolosa taba mono a ntse a batlisisa hore na setjhaba sa rantsho na Ntshadi ha bitsitswe ka hara sona o tshwanetse a tla se etsetseng a tla ikutlwa e ka ha hwa lekana hantle a ilo batlisisa hantle taba tsa thuto ya re le ha ntsa khutlile teng he Ntshadi nga santsa le mosebetsing a ka ba mona Isaacson mona mo bana mona hle ba kena teng bo batho bo mang ba kena mono Isaacson mo a kena teng ya re ha ho ntso dithishere di ntse di arohana so ho ntso ho ba le dishoto kae Ntshadi a ka tloswa mona a ka mo fumana le tshebedisano mane mo Ntshadi kile ka thola hore ngwaneno wa rangwane jwale dikolo tsene tse re di tsamaya le nna ke tlile ho seneng ke le ho sona ke se re le mona nna ke botjodi yena o sa le mo tshebedisano Ntshadi le hona mono e hle le motho a sebetsang ka matla motho a neng a kene le tsena tsa bongodi a le motho ya hleng a le teng ditabeng tsena tsa Sesotho tsa bongodi ditabeng tsena tsa habo rona tsa malapa a borena hobane re hle re tseba hore ka nnete ha o thwe motho a le mong kapa ba babedi fela ho thwe setjhaba moreneng ho na le setjhaba sa teng jwale ra iphumana hona le Ntshadi le lelapa lena la mona re le setjhaba sa moreneng hobane Ntshadi jwale pete ena e re bitsang mane ke yena pete eo le ntata Mokgatjhane eo le yena e bang ntata Motlotlehi Morena Moshweshwe o thole hore bontatamolo wa rona le Ntshadi ke batho ba le bang le Motlotlehi Morena Moshweshwe moreneng ho na le mafumadi a mangata re mpa re fapane fela ka matswele re leng ra nyanya jwale he Ntshadi le yena he e bile motho a jwalo a ntseng ke sentse ke bona hore Ntshadi ile ba ngwana ya tang ka morao ho rona a hata mo ditlhako tsa pele di hatileng teng jwale he Ntshadi ho ya ba jwalo itse ha o so le jwalo Ntshadi he ha sebetsa mona lefapheng la thuto ho phahamisa setjhaba sa Rantsho ho phahamisa ona motse ona wa Soweto mo a huletseng teng ho phahamisa ona motse wa Central Molapo le kae mo e leng mese mo Ntshadi a leng a holela teng itse le ha sa a tsamaile sela eo e kalo empa ne he a nna tswela pele Ntshadi ka bona le meeting mona tsa bangodi Ntshadi re ba teng re ba batho ba ithutang ho ngola empa ne he nne ntse ke sa rate le ho bua haholo fela ne he nka nna ka re thokonyana e ntseng ke ilukisa he ho roka ngwaneno wa rangwane he ha ile mona a tsamaya la ho qetela e le letsatsi la hae a ke a le share le motho e mong jwale ha ke ntse le hona ntseng ke itukisa hobane ke re Ntshadi ke a qala ke re kgosatsana ya hapete Ntshadi kgosatsana ya Basotho Ntshadi a itshalla ho bagadi ba pete Ntshadi a itshalla ha bagadi ba pete ba rongwa ditjhabeng Ntshadi a itshalla a sala sa botsilane ba sala matlong a bona a itshalla hae ha habo hona mona ke tsitwa ke nomoro ena ya mona hae a itshalla hona ntlong yona ena Ntshadi ka nnete a tshwana le tsilane ya re ha o tshwanetse banana ba ye ditenseng ba ilo hlaha ka monyako ona ba hlahe mona ba ikotle difuba ba mona hore nna Ntshadi a itshalla hae mona jwalo ka tsilane Ntshadi kgosatsana ya Mabolela moseng wa Qwaqwa ke yena kgaitsedi ya Tau ya Mabotha Thabo le Malefane ke setloholo sa ka Phokeng ha Nkgobiso Mangaung Qwaqwa yena motjhana wa Jawo Mohale le yena le Hako Nkgobiso le sena thuto kwena ya ga haka matlung nna ke bolela yena Ntshadi wa hapete batho ba heso nkeke ka be se ke etsisa kgomo le yona e bulele ha ile ya ha ke se kgomo ha ke se boloko kaofela ka ho tjho jwalo ke re ya kgaola ya
ra leboha kwena Ntshadi ha o paka ngwaneno re bone ka pula hore ke kwena e tsamaile
haholo
ya sesa kwena di
re ke ra lopalla fela re ka ntsha batho kotsi
ya tsamaya kwena
batho ba ka tswa ganya pa e ka tsamaya fela seo
ke tla kopa chorus e monate setjhabeng Ke tla emisa go tloga go ladies of the millennium ke emise Miss Bongile Mkhize o tla ema naye ngentonga yakhe makasukume ngentonga yakhe umama. Everybody okhona la and khuluma Ntshadi mina I'm from the ladies of the millennium. We see society of very few members, and Ntshadi, I think from 90 we're about 22 years old now as a club. But then at the same time, Unai was joined just then. That's why we're called Ladies of the Millennium, because we started in 1999 and we were approaching year 2000. So Ntshadi since simazi kusukela ngaleso sikhathi si together esaphilile naye, unlike maybe towards the end of his days and now. Usimazi nje Ntshadi kulo sisi akakhulumi kakhulu Ntshadi. You know, I look at her photo, graduation yakhe, family fakile is, and then I look at this beautiful lady. Ntshadi, she was what she is. She's calm, she's soft. She didn't even have a smile there. She looked so beautiful, but that's when I learned to go, oh, okay, we are not the same. Nkulunkulu hasn't given us uphila nokubona nokukhuluma nokuphapha asifani. Other people noma kukanjani nje ubaphile lokho kubakhambi. I just remember with sometimes just before she even bought a car, she would like worry, want somebody would amlethe a society ni uzasifikela late. But then we ended up simjwayele sikwata Ntshadi wena every day late. Kinka wena. You know, just like that. And then she had this car, and it was such. And then how do you feel? I mean, Ntshadi wena for so long, but it means to me. But you know, I feel I've deprived myself so much. You know, we remember all those things. And then the brother who has been driving Ntshadi, we thought Umtana was boss, you know, one of the sisters and all. Only to find that we younger brother, we only had last time Masfigala, Job Ntshadi. He's the brother who was born. And we're like, Ntshadi, any family like Ntshadi, you know, baby, I embrace her so much. Ntshadi, you know, in our society normally we say, umama ukhuluma ngeqwaqwa khona manje we have been, see, as for the last time, you know, uzoba khona lapho kuleyo function yefamily yakhe. Siyamkhumbula nathi kakhulu. Khumbula uchairperson wethu uPinkathi. Ngisathi ihlo yesa secretary. Arapinki man atsakha. Ngisathi are ngisathi umistress and ungongala. Yeah, ube so that uskhatha late and uskakwatela umutho driver because there are times that where should come and hey now what's what khathesi because I can understand go kolo but it break defeated in hi and then putwa kamkwatela because it's like when every day I just want to break in when I complain kolo is kolo it's like that and I try to quite Uber. I like to keep Uber for maybe for that weekend. Even the following month was actually happy. They are to high, so you know we really miss Ntshadi, and we used to love her so much. I would say, you know, in my life I come to go on phone so many times that I was Ntshadi. When I was with my sister, I'm late now. I'm moving on. But I'm Mara. It guys society. Sometimes there's another driver. Yeah, Ompo, I think. Yes, I want to pick him up. Then Uzam director, but when I'm playing little when I reach for but like Nokulu Esho, Masambelwe ihlobo zethu azihambanga ziye, you know, when we die it's when we meet our God. Yes, and if you have worked for uNkulunkulu while you are still alive, you are sure that you are going to the right place. Though as blacks we sometimes believe we've got ancestors, yes, that's the time esizohlangana nabo ngaso siyabonga. Because I think our ancestors, you know, as blacks or as black people, we think ancestors. But then you read the Bible. I mean, about David, our ancestors, Abraham, you know, Isaiah, so. As human beings, including Jesus. Jesus is also our ancestors because Jesus came into this life, was of Elizono Zetu. And then there's a verse where he says, Ageko umuntu ozothatha anyone out of my father's hand, even from my hand. God is there to protect us. So we are protected. If you know your God, you will always be protected. Doesn't matter who, nobody ozothatha. So so I was very impressed last time I speak, I think it was Monday when Babezobega abomama batho lentombazane ihambile and lentombazane ihambile kanje ilandele enyaweni zakamamayo umama wayo wayehamba naye asesemncane naye wakhula umama washona wayijoina levangeli Ntshadi the sisters omunye wathi Ntshadi represented us la eWhite City ari nerifihla mo sometimes uthola Ntshadi asaphila kanti umthola cherry plastic nya uyakaya no batho ngifuna li something mo ke atla tla wakela mohlungu ngikemela usweri something to give kulabo bantu abashonela so Ntshadi uNkulunkulu wayemuphe loyo moya omuhle umuntu phansi and I think ababaphethe bazomamukela noNkulunkulu amamukele in Jesus name amen. We lifted me up from the deep muddy clay and he planted my feet on the leaves of the day and that is everything I see and I shout for Jesus came down and he lifted me up. What he pagamisa, Talita Maite, the platform is yours. Ukata lintonga ya haona leo na mme.
I hope I have the strength to talk. If not, I'm not going to read. Thank you, Program Director. Also, I want to thank the audience as we gathered here this afternoon to pay tribute to our beloved Mirriam Ntshadi Peete. We cherish her in our hearts. We loved her. She dwells in our hearts because her presence, we valued her, and it was priceless. Ntshadi. Mirriam Ntshadi Peete, our first meeting point, it was at Soweto College of Education, 1981, in a lecture room, Southern Sotho language. Under the lecture here in Ntshadi was a lecturer at that time. The director was Dr. Allen, was the English man, an ordained priest. Then later was followed by Ntshadi Peete, who was well known in Soweto as a principal school inspector. At that time, from 1981 up to 1983, was the director of the college. I happen to know Ntshadi in a very unique way because of the wisdom that he shared with us. He had a profound knowledge and skills. At that time, Ntshadi, when we were at the college, was already writing short stories and drama stories for Radio Sesotho. Now it's Radio Lesedi. So, together with Ntshadi, we learn a lot from Ntshadi because our lecture room, it was for few Southern Sotho speaking people. And it was, we were colleagues. You know, at some point we didn't forget that NG is our lecturer. But in essence, what brought us together at that time, we were looking towards the knowledge and skill that we equip the children in the 80s. We were aware from the 70s. Where are we getting? Where are we heading towards? So the feeling of transformation, it was already there. NG as NG, you know. We learn from our teachers, and they give us guidance, and they show us the way. Ntshadi, we only met at Southern Sotho language coursework, but the other coursework were different. So Ntshadi was specializing in art, fine art and craft. So in that class, there were only 3 of them, 2 gentlemen and herself, Bobby and John Walaza and herself. So it is where actually I get to know Ntshadi much better through her work. So when I look at this, it is the artistic orientation. Look at literature, analyzing books, both of English and Sesotho. Our favorite author in Sesotho, Tate J.J. Mulio. Tate J.J. Mulio was a very unique writer. And the characters are high, they were Shakespeare wa motho motsho. They were meaningful. The mabitso a fang di-characters are high. Ne di khema le dinako tsa ketsahalo ka dinako tseo. Ha o bala dibuka tsa hae, ha o bale buka fela hore ba dile story. O tshwanele o etse research. O shebe hore na buka eo e ne bua ka ditaba tsa dinako tse feng history. And bophelo ba batho ka dinako tse setjhabeng e ne e le bofeng, ditlwaelo le diketso e ne le tse feng. Then you have the bigger picture, the context of the book itself. So as we move along, yes, Ntshadi actually, he became my mentor in literature. You know, he enriched my knowledge such that even up to now, when I read a newspaper, when I read anything in social media, I don't take things at face value. I analyze. And I get deeper. What does it mean? So that was a valid friend. And kana kwa mona re etsa metlae ka di characters tse re kopana le tsona yo re bitsana ka tsona. I remember the word that we coined together. Ibile mmata. Re mmata. Re bitsana mmata. Ka le kana kwa dintho tsa hae di sa tsamayeng hantle a ke bua le ena, maybe over the line. Tla ba hey mmata. Ya tseba hore something is not okay ke botsa. You know, I respected her as a friend. She gave me space, I give her space. I wouldn't direct her life. She wouldn't direct my life. But we listened to each other. Ntshadi was the lioness. She was robust. She was a woman on authority. She knows where she comes from. She knows where he was heading to. So I remember while now we started to be working, we started here at Isaacson. I went to Nkatito, but unfortunately in 1988 I was forcefully transferred. I was moved to Bele, now it's a Boisa. While Ntshadi was there at Isaacson, he done a remarkable work under the leadership of Tulare Opape. Ntate Bopaki kopane le ena go AMISA, Association of Maths Teachers of South Africa. He was an author there. Na ngwana dibuka tsa mathematics. Una hlompha Ntshadi, anana le lerato la mosebetsi wa Ntshadi. You know, every time I go up after I replay Ntshadi ba mise go Pimville. Say, ma, no, Ntshadi ma, when I go back to school, I need Ntshadi back. Because ntwe ene rile ra ithuta yona bophelong for ngwana o qalang, although ne re le mo higher primary, but from the basics. 4 things: listening, speaking, reading and writing. And at that point, as we interacted, we discovered we do these things right from the beginning, our little kindergarten, up to everybody professor. How many people do listen? Being highly educated, that skill is still in shortage. Speaking. How do we speak with people? Ki tutila wena hore o bua ha o le necessary rule.
Oh, yes.
How is it necessary? Keep quiet. That is a robustness that I found in her. So, re-engage in reading activities with Read Organization under leadership of Cynthia Hugo, the woman I met at Matric St. John College. So I secretary teacher, that program, so Mirriam also had a passion. Yeah, reading. As she's a writer. By virtue of birth, I'll say that. Because he has been writing essays, he has been writing all along, even the poems. Even his fine artwork and craft. He shared with children. It was applied in the classroom. And I hope Lapemo Tlayeta recollection represent. For ba batla ne kana go batla ba etsa research ka Ntshadi ba fumane hore ke yene sebetsi ya Ntshadi a etse. Hansa ke sheba really mo dikolong kopane le di challenges because of the petrol sa na ha bophara azana di re tloelle hore affect. But we are soldiers. You know, perseverance is something that is a high quality she has. Patience. Wow, mamela. Atsamai butle.
Yes.
How's a mutsebi? Ukara bariki.
Yeah.
Satsi.
Yeah.
Go quietness behind. It's very wisdom. Analyze and talk around you. Look at it. Should be setting topic before you get into action. So Harry Buakansari as Rachel. The author, Yadibuka, Tasoto, poems, an artist. Rebuaka, a shading tree, and an advisor. That is what I know about him. And I'll keep on telling people about him. Even my family at home. They know Ntshadi very well because I used to talk about him. Basaro is about the mother unseen. Parotla ba laitina. Karketla tia moreni. Jole ka yena Ntshadi moreni. Ntshadi kopane le mathata mangata bophelong ba hae. Ere ha ke a sheba ke tshoga. Ha re ke fumana hore o tsile. Jole ka thaba seo. Kere ha ke mo sheba. Kutla ke tlalwana ke tlhomo. Ya hore o ka tsela eo a leng ka yona hore ba ka re ke mofumahadi ya tsebahalang ya tshwereng setjhaba se tsebahalang o na le setjhaba Ntshadi rona ra se tseba setjhaba sa Ntshadi ha ke re ntate Thulare Bophara can bear testimony to this batho le bana ba ithutileng ho Ntshadi ba tla tsho po e ke buang ka tsatsing le gore rona re mo tsebile a le ka tsela e leng ka yona ditholwana tse re di fumaneng ho yena ha ke be ba le teng ne ba tla le bolella tsona mare di tla tla maswabi ke hore re nakong ya COVID ra balwa dipallo batho se ba tshaba le ho tsamaya ha se bohle ke a kgola ba utlwile ha nako e ntse e ya o tla utlwa mesebetsi ya Ntshadi e a e entse a ntse a le quiet jwalo o ka mo feta fela wa re ke motho fela but nna re ino ila a ke qala ho utlwa sefane se sa Peete Mokgatjane. History taught me about his family tree before even I knew her. Tateleng nake mo dibukeng tsa hae tsa motsa pele wa pele le mmuso re tsebile ka Peete Mokgatjane, the blessed Peete Mokgatjane, like Jacob in the Bible. Ntshadi is one of the grain soil of the blessed, of the king of Lesotho in the southern Africa. The grain. Can you count the grain of soil? No. Kya kopana le bona bana ba Peete Mokgatjane ka di same names are different. No, I marvel that. I say we learn the Bible. I've been told by these people that we've never met before. But here is a testimony. Nna ke tswala Kgolope. Wa ha Maitse, Ntshadi Maitse. Tswala Kgolope. Ba kwena re kopana ka kgomo. Ha ntse ho ya ho. History ke ithutile yona ka lapeng before ke ya school. Ke ka ho bana ba ntse ke kopana le bona sekolong. Ke kene sekolo Mirriam ka mubela kwatwa Kabelane college ka kopana le yena Ntshadi. So kere hanke be ise ka bo emo ba apartheid ho lona bana ba Peete Mokgatjane like they are like the grain of soil. Ntshadi is that grain of soil that cannot be counted. It's there with that wisdom, with that robustness and bravery. Come on, so Jehovah asireletse moya wa Mirriam Ntshadi Peete ka o sa fele ka lebitso la Jesu Kriste Motho. Ntshadi mmata wa ka o tla dula o le pelong ya ka ko hopola ke hopola le family ya hao o ratile ka o hlompha ke tla dula ko hlompha ko ratile le banka wena hobane ke ba tsebile ka wena ke a leboha bana beso.
Re lebohe Ntshadi Mata. Ra leboha. La tlhetso ke mmata wa hao. Fela le wena Modimo tla o tshedisa. Ha re tla bitsa bana ba Ntshadi ba tla emelwang ke Linda Mboqe. Nithi masibambelele. Sizobambelela. Sibambelele. Bambelela. Oh, you got your own song. It's in between. Sizobambelela. Sibambelele. Bambelela. Bambalala. Bamba. 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 I will never give up, never give up, I'll never give up, never, 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 ever, ever, never, never, give up. Membuke.
Why don't you write in the
Corner where you are, right in the corner where you are, right in the corner where you are, right in the corner where you are, 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 where you are.
Yeah, that's the song, the Sikula Nombimbi. Every time again, it was our favorite song. I don't know why. I don't know when we started, but every time, out of the blue, iyaqala. Right in the corner. So, ngimkhumbula ngayo, and it's something we used to sing for her esibhedlela as well. So, sure, I'm unprepared. Well, I was just told. So forgive me, I'll be all over the place, but I'll try to be together. My first memory, as I'm sitting, I was thinking, what is my first memory? Gambimbi. So Umbimbi was her nickname for me, apparently, I don't know. But because we Ebeti Bimbi, then we started calling her Bimbi. And then Sonke Siliza, Umbi. So Umbimbi, the first time I remember her, Umkumbula Wami, was in this home, Ega Koko. Maybe I was 3 or 4. I think I was 3 or 4. And she was going somewhere, but it was on a train. And then I was like, no, whatever. And everyone, well, Mati, no, you can't. I don't know, Ebeyaki. And finally, she said, no, it's fine. Masambe song. And I was so excited. I ran out of the gate to Kweli train. So on my way, walking together, uzothubani masifika kule ndawo siyabuya athi ketla ngwanaka ngithi really athi awusebi uthi ungwanaka and I was so like amazed ngithi really athi nami ngumama wakho ngithi. So anyway, this thing kept on winding. Masibuya, I go to my mother, ngiyambuza ngithi, is it true? Uthi umi umamam. Auntie, yeah, and I was like, wow. and every day, my phone, we used to live in Makulong Tembisa, and my phone, I would say, Mama was a phone, and then we had that relationship, and then, and I remember Sisa Kula, I was always so excited because. She was quiet. I think in my older life, I remember she was quiet, but Ebantwaneni, she was not quiet. Ebantwaneni, she was vibrant. She was the life of this home. So Masizala, she was the first person of Unugumbona, and she was the person who you want to sit with. She was the person you want to stay with, all the time because she just had so much love. But she was fun. She really was fun. So when there was a time when she lived with us. I think I was like 6 or 7, and she lived with us in Makulong. And one day I came back from school, so I must have been in grade 1. And she said, Mama, can I come on? And I said, oh no. And in 5 minutes, she had taught me to read the time. I don't know how she did it. She just did this trick, and then boom, I knew how to read the time. I was so excited. Anyone would say, move, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and she was excited. And as Umama Talita speaking, I realized even how to read, she taught me how to read. It's only, sorry Mama, you didn't teach me how to read. And she taught me how to read. She taught all of us how to read. And I remember Sister Sabang, she'd always say, she had a shelf, a brown shelf. And my encyclopedia wake, then what is Zake, and she had CDs and she had cassettes. Before CDs, she had a cassette. Because she used to like music, and I would say, can you play le? And then in what is like, some of them were English, so some of them I could read. And then as in going what's the Sotho, and then we'd ask her, okay, it's fundele there. But in now in hindsight, as I'm saying, it's only now that I realize, oh, that's why I like to read. Yeah, I thought no, it doesn't. It's something that absolutely she instilled it, and the sense of playing, and the sense of independence, and the sense of loving your family, because she definitely loved her family, and she really was. I don't know how she did it, but she was the center of the family. So in our older life, our entire family life revolved around her, on the better side of the family. Everything, one way or the other, was about her, and she called the shots, and it was okay, we didn't mind. She would phone me when I was in varsity, and she'd say, hello, Mama, and then she'd say, Mama. Mama, what pasa, Mama? Mama. And then she'd say, Uzam tumeli klipanyana, 100 rand for a student. That time. And I'd always be excited for those deposits. And back in the day, deposit, you'd have to wait 3 days to clear a bank, So, and then my most exciting memory, I've got lots of memories, but my most exciting memory was when I graduated. So she'd been phoning, with my results, my results. And then finally the results were out, and it was showcase, I'm graduating. And then she handled everything. She paid for my graduation dress. She came with me to my graduation. Everything, flights, whatever. She paid. She was so proud, and she was proud of all of us. So in her way, she had, I forgot to count us. Okay, too late. But let's say all of us were her children, and she showed us the same equal amount of unconditional, undivided love all the time, where you would feel like she is your mother alone. So now, in her passing, all of us have our own memories, and then, Umpa will be like, I've lost my mother. And I'll be like, I've lost my mother. and that's the ability that she had, which she was all of our mother, dedicatedly and together. So we'll miss her, Umama Ntshadi. Yo. Thank you.
Thank you, Membuka, for talking about your mom. Okay. My grandchildren, Niteni. Ntshadi where? My grandchildren, Maweza. One day, ubuya emngcwabeni umama Ntshadi. Uthi hey, esemngcwabeni. Ngithole enye ingoma ngayifunda, hayi ngisithi hayi sicule. Bathi lendle lihambala lendle oh idlulala lendle idlulala nami izodlulala nawe uzodlulala sonke sizodlulala grandchild Ntshadi Gianni.
Sanbonani. So I am the granddaughter to Gogo Ntshadi Uthandiwe. This is going to be very impromptu, unprepared as well. But there was never a sad moment mangvakashile like I am Gogo. She was one humble lady, very quiet and reserved. Out of all my grandmothers, She was the most that laughed the most. Like, bonke bayahleka, banesihleke esihle futhi. Kodwa ugogo Ntshadi would just sit in her corner and just die at the jokes we'd make together, after food or after like a gathering lana on a Sunday, and she would just laugh. I'm very grieved by what has happened. Personally, it's been a horrible year for us as a family. Standing here is so hard, knowing this is yet another member. And I'm so happy that she has made such an impact in all your lives, because we're going to miss her greatly. Gogo loved to sing every time must feel like her. She'd be like, worse when Ukoko was still alive as well. There was never a time sisuka la endlini singahambi ngomthandazo and a song. Like Sifila Muntu was, it's our thing. Yes. Music is our thing. In the Peete family, the Scotsana family, the Gianna family, music is our thing. There's never a time when we would not just burst out into any song, and we'd just go on and on until finally where we feel we've been uplifted to some extent, and would round up our evening with more laughs and more giggles and just happiness. Oh. I'm really gonna miss Gogo's phone calls, as Ntombisa has mentioned. Yes. Where she doesn't have much to say. Literally, it's just a 5-second call. That's it. How are you? How's school? Me passing on a distinction, and that's it. I'm gonna miss those phone calls. I'm gonna miss visiting like Kaya. And she'd tell us, "Who batung akapea?" And Gogo would quickly ask Gogo Melita to just cook up a storm, just whatever we have in the kitchen, and we'd still have a meal, and we'd still share a meal together. I don't think I've come to terms with what has happened. Yeah. On the way, I'm like, I genuinely don't believe that we're going through this again. I mean, we just lost the series. And for me, that is a bit unfair. We do not deserve this pain, Godwa. If not us, then who? You know? I mean, angifiseli anyone else lobuhlungu esibuzwayo. Godwa, still, we did deserve a break. But it's so lovely to hear of the amazing things that she's done. And I'm proud to stand here to say, to stand here today. I am a graduate under all the pressure. You know how diamonds are made, right? Yes. Diamonds are made under pressure. Yeah. So I'm thankful to all my grandmothers that have put that pressure on me. Yes, all of those things, boyfriends, what, listen, all those don't pass, but education is key. Yeah. And that was Gogo's mission. Yes. She wanted all her kids educated and learned, so that someday we're able to stand for ourselves in Ntshadi City. This is what I have accomplished, and this is what I'm still going to accomplish. And with that said, Gogo Noma, she genuinely loved her family as well. The generator is so loud. Okay, continue. With all that what has happened, I pray that we find strength as a family.
Oh yes.
I pray Uti will be able to go through this together and sing Ayegani just because, you know, this has happened, but we continue being the strong Peete, strong Skosana, strong Gianna family, strong Bukri family that we are, Sihlangani, and we just continue believing, singamshiya uNkulunkulu, ngoba ugogo bekamthanda uNkulunkulu as well. Kuba konke sikuyenzayo, we should remember ukuthi this too shall pass, and with time, inhliziyo zethu zizoxola. Thank you.
There you go. Sabonga Thandiwe. Motor buang ka yena mo. Le motor ratang di meeting. Okay, ke understand a kopana le bo mamkhize di meeting. Ke understand a kopana le Jureta. Ke understand a kopana le bo mme ba manyano. Ke bone mme o mong a apere mo ke so rosa le teng. Hey, motor le rona na re a re bisetsa di meeting. A phone. Hey, bana ba lapeng ha re kopaneng. Ke eng jwale ha o tla utlwa se re dutse fatshe. Hao. Ntshadi hanyane ha re kopaneng. So this year be lo re arrange amajo a batswadi. Ra beya date ya di 7 tsa July hore to bula lejwe la mme le papa. Unfortunately COVID ya re kwalla. So ra tshwana hore le postpone. So ha se se ho bulehile o re hey re santse re dule fatshe re as usual are meeting. So ke ra ile tlatla kwa ho nna ai ba fihle kwa ho nna ka tsa setting ha fihla re hai tabe ya majwa bo mme wa tseba e a ntshwenya ne ke batla hore qete ka yona. Ke kopa calendar. Ke kena kamareng ke tla le calendar. A dutse re dutse mo tafoleng mo meeting. A o ditsitseng. A shebe a makere. Ke bona di 16 tsa October. So ara ke a di ke bona 16 tsa October. Okay, a bona tsona well and good. A hantse re lokisa jwalo re shebile di 16. My sister Melita Kamore Ntshadi ka be re sa jage wa tseba. A re etse next year maybe tla be re na le more resources. Are Melita, it's not about the resource ngwana lapeng. It's not about mabenyane. Ke o re fela lejwe la bo mme le hlonolofatswe. O fite. Ai re okay. A re ke tswela pele. A tswele pele ya kopanye. Taba ya lejwe le patalo and se le patetswe by then, and then so ke taba tsa checklist jwale hana ha so le so go batla eng ai ra di bala wa tshore ai ke tla yetse ha grocery tla re kwa ke mang re ba re tla reka re tla bona tla reka motho o tla provider tla reka ra o etsa mosebetsi o ntsa atisa a re Melita ha o re ke shift mosebetsi wa tseba keng ba bang ba rona ba tla ba le siyo ka date wena o re postpone Melita re tla be re le ka a re ke re ba bang ba rona tla be re siyo so he a re sheba mo re bona re motho o tsela e metlo mona sa e bona and then ha re le lefung la tshidiso bana ba mangwane na ba le teng maobane ba tshwile le bona ba re yo a se Ntshadi phela ha re tsamaya after leave re lo laela o re mo bona Lilian le bo Mantombi le tlo khutla ha o finyana le tlo patanna so bana ba batho ba re really so it means motho a bontshwa tsela ya hae so re dutse le yena tshegantse yena wa e betla tsela ya hae so o bile monate o phela le ngwaneno for 63 years and couple of months because as baby o fitlhetse o rona le ba bagolo go nna because o nlatelang o ile o latela yena died a sa le monyane so we were 3 ba bagolo yena motho a sa rate o paisa le monyane e tla re mme a tswa mosebetsing a fihla mme rona ne re monesa a tswa mosebetsing se re beile frescote ya gore wa tšhintšha a qeta o tšhintšha o mo sa beile metsi mo le re etsa teele o tla bona sa ya go mme he mme ga o nolesio he ba ne ba ntšhapa he ba ne ba etsang mme a re ke ba botsa re ka ba botsa. So she was that kind of a person. As Bachor, she was on a quieter side. I get personalities are not this one. Yeah, so loud, quiet, medium. But here, Ntshadi, we enjoyed life. Rona, we were many, but never boring. I don't early 18, early 9 parts. More 9 o dula ho tletse bo Jemina bo mang the old forum wa bona ona no corona if ne fitlile ka nako ba sale ba le o robalwa ka bo dining room ka bo tlasa ditafole kitchening wa alwa but it was so nice re ja re khura ke nako tsele bo me I think bo mena ba tswa fatse ba futswella papa ka lebese in a big dish. I'm sure Baba never sat up a lot but reja from the dish. Mary had a cherry on top, also no more, which is from there straight. Harbali came it out soul. I was think like an amtla monati ujuakana. I was think like an analyst to pay at Sulelemon Tate Hantle. The high plate. Kenya piece and papa. And then here was allocated. But well, as Mutumu Nermutlum Panerasa Mukir, a privilege of being a bigger sister. On that note, Kitobita, Nesu, and Wanabon Ntshadi Matabo Ramuquin. Then I got a fa, Kangwana. Luna barata o ina boshama
ke dumedise sa tse ke dumediseditswe ke na magomo Ramokwena ga eso ke kwana mafeteng Lesotho fela ga o teng mona ke dula mane Bramley o ke mohaisane kore se ke etsa fela hore le utlwe ke mohaisane wa mme Mambo ke ne ke le yena gona jwale ke se ke le ngwanao ke le ka fetwa ngwana wa habete full time kore ka ba ngwana bo bona se seneng se ba hlagela se ne se ntlhaela ke phetse le bona go tloa ka mme wa bona sa ntsane nga phela mme wa bona o tswala phukeng le nna ke Mofokeng wa Maotwana Finyane. Bophelong ba ka Gauteng mona ke phetse le batho ba bangata ke motho a ithatelang batho ke motho o ratang mo go leng lerato teng ke ba teng ke ile ka ithuta ntho e le nngwe ka lapa le lelapa lena ke lelapa le tsebang go bina. Unfortunately nna ke le tlaila ga ke tsebe go bina and ga ke tsebe go bua gagolo gore go beya ditaba tsa ka gantle tlhomong ke ne ka bua go fitlhelela ka 6 ke ithutile lerato baneng ba Ntshadi Peete ke ithutile kopano ke matla ntho e nngwe le nngwe bana ba Ntshadi Peete ba e etsang mmogo ka bela ka ithuta gape le gore go sharing ithutile yona and gape ka e bona gagolo ko go Ntshadi kore ka mokgwa ke ne ke le ngwana bo ka teng wa tseba bana ba ka ba nkile ka dula mo Jabulane gale so ke ne ke na le bana ba ka bana ba dula teng mo fleteng ya ka mo Jabulane ene la ke tlile ka mona ke tle ke tlo bona Ntshadi ke fihle ka mona ke tla fumana ke motho a ikulelang le yena ba fihla mpolelang di ratenyana na re ngwana bo na utlwile go so go na le ntho e sebetsang ebe go tla jwa diratetse o tla ba mpatlela le nna ba etse sure gore ke thola botlolonyana ke tsamaye ke lona Mirriam ke phetse le Ntshadi ga monate le bana ba bo ka nnete gore ntle le pelaelo ya letho ile ga ba bohloko fela gore ga go ntse go tla dintho tse ke sa batlong go bua gagolo because ngwana o buile mona ena ka utlwa a utlwisa moya wa ka bohloko tentena se gale ne le mona sebetse le teng gape it's not easy bana beso go bohloko and ke mo kae ona nna ke tsofetse ke mo kana ka utlwa bohloko so ha ke rate go tempela bohloko bona go bana the food ke ne ke sa lebella gore Ntshadi wa kula empa ha re ne re pata tshidiso ke ne ke bone Ntshadi a mehile gagolo ka be ka tšho ngwana kwa se re banka re neso motho ena e ka re lefu le na le mo amme ga ke ntse ke mo lateletse le ga ntse re lokisa dijo mola ntse ke re neso e ka mo bona gore motho wa tseba ehlile o bohloko ntse ke na tswa o tla ka mona apere go ba le motho ka be ka re netsi wa ka o motle jwang nna le ena ne re bitsana jwang mme ka re ga ke re netsi a re netsi wa ka ke bitsano ya rona le mambo le bana ba motho ke le ka utlwa bohloko ga se ke utlwa o sepetlele he batho ba morena ka re ga ikhona Ntshadi ko sepetlele jwang jwale ra ya sepetlele ra ile mo bona ha re ya mo re lo bona Ntshadi ba kena bana ba Peete ba bina ba rapela wa tseba ha ke fihla mo nna ke fihla ke mo sheba ke mo bona a le ka tsela eo wa tseba ke le ka bina ke na le modisa a tsa ka bina fela that the one verse ke hangata ha ntse ke ya mo ntse ke bina se fela se fela gore ne ke sa bine se se a ke re ke tla bina ke na le mo so ene le motho a na le smile haholo for nna ene ga ke bua le ena ga ke na taba tse ngata Ntshadi nna le ena re sa qoqe moqoqo kore le ke sena moqoqo le ena jwale ka bana ba e batho ba bona ba makala ha re bona sa bua but mo baneng o na bua na o na sena moqoqo o na rata di-jokes fela re tla joka fela nnete waka le kae neso ke re Ntshadi o kutse ka nako e khutshwanyane and a kula ha bohloko gore ke bone Ntshadi o tloga ha kula go fihlella letsatsi la hae la go qetela tseba le ka utlwa bohloko fela tjhe ke tsela ya rona rohle pina e mama e buileng o itseng kana pina e ke tsela ya bona mosadi wa bona jwalo so I think ke tla re fela tshedisegang bana ba Peete le nna ga la utlwa botlhoko le le bang kao fela tšhaba se sembo se utlwile botlhoko le central e kao fela e utlwile botlhoko motho ene le motho wa batho o re dene ba o tsamaye o feteng mona o support-a mo o tlo bona Ntshadi so Ntshadi mone se ithoballe ka kgotso moya wa gae o iphomolele ka kgotso Ntshadi o ne le motho wa modimo o na tseba thapelo Ntshadi ne le motho wa lerato so ke ra ithoballe gantle in Jesus name amen.
Aki hupula wena nanga kakenela sete akina solateka to you. Jiane o fihlile matsatsi a se rena le bontate ba ma Ben 10 ga gore bo pete sa le ba tsamaya ka bo 1992 tate Jiane my father Mirriam o tlo lahlela mabedi a mararo re tle re ha o ketile yo o na pere uniform a sa mona wa kereke o tsamaile Aki sa mwana meo na peri uniform and then itara hanta tejiene afeta. How's Pinky? Nizokwela usivalele ngumthandazo. Uba bjiane makapeta umthandazo usivalele just around up.
Sanibona nonke. Egameni lika Jesu amen.
Amen.
Mangizwa ngendlela I was streaming so that I catch up with what's going on in the program. So I was listening to all the speakers, but I was trying as well, but between concentrating and learning, but at the same time listen to what's going on. And I heard the speakers, you know, umang figure it was very interesting ukuthi Umamus Kosana had to introduce me to all the sisters. Ezakhe Umamus Kosana. And it was a very interesting thing ukuthi ngibazibonke from the one who is in Elspruit bese kuba uMamus Alunkosikazi. And then bese kuba umama ngapha bese kuba Ntshadi Mama Ntshadi bese kuba umam Melita, she talks this one. And then bese kuba umam uBathu, and then we have umalume. Fortunately, tema ngithola ukuthi mncane kimi kodwa umalume okusalayo. It was a good thing to know this family. Ugogo besaphila, and it was a good time to be part of this family. Masifile la ekhaya, we will find uMangwane Ntshadi as the leading, because somehow utholakale kuye that remains with umama ukuthi akwazi ukumnakekela. One thing that I want to emphasize in my memory, as it serves me well, was that he would say, Bangi, Tantubale. You know, I would say to her, hey, Kyabala, Mama, I don't know, Tantubale uqede. Kubala, it's a good thing. Everybody can take a book and read. But Ronar Batla, the end results, where you tell us Horubadile and Ukreile di tutosa how. Fortunately, Umangwani Ulala, when she knows, Uguti, in my pocket, I've pocketed but to her, it didn't mean any qualification. I don't know why she thought that way. And then I met HR M7 by default. Now I had to do studies. Now, Maskuluma, every time I used to say, I'm busy with a certificate. Everybody, certificate doesn't mean anything. Then I said, now I've got the diploma, national diploma. He said, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I said, now I have the degree. She said, Bangi, at least rekabuisa. Then I came back and I said, now I have honors. Then elatelang, I need masters.
Yeah.
So I'm standing here. It's so heavy because it means those guys
Yeah.
and get a masters But now I'm because I wanted her to see these masters. But I will do it. I will see. So she was a lady of education. So she never taught Eklasini only, but she motivated everyone, even here at home. So Umbisa, when I was listening to her, she emphasized Guti, she was so instrumental to make her achieve ama grades now as we speak. Utandiwe, when she was standing here, I heard her talking about that. And I'm also proud to say almost all of them as sisters. All of them, they have made a turn at school, which is a serious motivator of how the parents Lagwapete did. But because we're in memory of Umangwani, then Umangwani, at the time, see that we told her the news that Sidiso. We're here at home. She was so quiet. The mother also got Sidiso was very quiet in that evening. I decided to ask Umangwani and I said, Mangwani, Melita, are you fine? She said, Bangi, what can I do? So it's a hands. And then I turned to her. Umangwani Ustuntu was in the kitchen trying to prepare some food for us. Then I turned to Umangwani Ntshadi. She was sitting on a sofa this side. I said, Mangwani, I know Tsidiso was your child. How are you? She looked at me with that look. She's got her look. And I could see her, she's highly devastated. She's low. And in that lowness of hers, she uttered words which I can't forget in my head. I was telling Abo Mangwani during as we are doing this. And she said to me, Bangi, and I said, but Mangwani, you can't say that. At Bangi, what must I do? And she kept quiet. And when we visited the hospital, I was very high to say on that Saturday, because she was sedated, under ventilation. But I still maintain to say, I mean, I don't understand why the hospital but irate when she's up. Let her be irate to us, And then at the end of the day, you know, but the next thing was that, what can we do? We have to sedate her. So when I was talking to her, everything that I said to her, I said, Mawani, Kibaniswani, and Kikile utlo rapela luena. You know, it was a question of that nod. We are not sure whether she's nodding or because she's sleeping. Mara, the professionals tell us, in that sleep, wow. So I kept on talking, and then next thing I prayed. Prayer ya kaliena was Mawani Raurata. And Raurata rishibile forward for Rubono Utswamona Ushula Lifulena Ukutla High. And it was like she wants to lift her hand and well, the rest, it becomes history. But what I don't like, it's how hospitals and the professionals these days with Lifulena, where immediately they rush to ventilator. But our professionals, they know what they're doing. I don't blame them. But I still feel, ventilators must come later. And they must not rush to ventilators because it means ventilators are too harsh. But yeah, Mangwani Robeti, let's accept all of us for Robeti. Marahosalan, because we're in memory about her, let's all remember that she was instrumental. She did all her best. I don't know how many children she has taught. If we can call them to stand here, you will see that most Chabing, we're talking about Imbogoto that has worked. We're talking about the lady teacher that was not selfish about her education. We're talking about a person in her own life that was the best. What is interesting, my wife will say to me, hey, what do you say? The stories in the radio.
Yeah.
Short stories in the radio. So this is a type of a person in the society has done all she could at her own best. Adi shapa ka Sesotho wa tseba. A ke re rona re motho ba dile ke ha bua sekgowa. Ha o bua Sesotho man, o bua Sesotho sa hao. O se bua o ikgabisa ka sona, o ikgantsha ka sona man wa bua man. And this is the lady. This is the lady. So Lilonke MC, thank you so much. We'll never stop talking about her. If I start talking about her, I'll talk all the way. But I have to come to a stop. To the family, to us all, to the friends, to the teaching fraternity, to the doctors, to the nurses, to everybody that was giving us the comfort, thank you so much. And we will all the time get comforted, and we also believe that soon and soon, no matter all these things can happen, there's a person we call Master Jesus. And we all know that soon and soon is coming in the clouds of the sky. And the day he comes, we'll see our loved ones again. Thank you.
Re preparile metsinyana a manyane. So ha qeta ho kwala, please le se la tsamaya le tlo share metsi ao in memory of Ntshadi. Over to you, Mama. Intonga ya una intong. Si le re la ho le re. Ha ona le re. Ma, kwa la ka thape.
Are o ratile. Ntate a Mosele Matla, Seabisa Masomo. Re a o leboha ka sebaka se ngata. Re leboha ha o re file nako ntate ya ho tsebana le Ntshadi. O ho Seabisa Masomo. Ke kopela lelapa ntate a Mosele Matla. Ke re ba bofe mo ba utlwang bohloko teng ntate a Mosele Matla. Ha ba hopola ngwana bo bona ntate, ba se ke ba fihlela ke tshabo ntate. Ba bone e le wena ya ntse mosebetsi wa ntate a Mosele Matla. Re lebohela le yona memorial service ena ntate e tsamaileng hantle ka mosa wa hao Seabisa Mahloma. re kopela le mosebetsi o tla etsuwang ka Labohlano ntate Mosalimatle a ebe wena o etellang pele ntate. Re kopela le ba tla hlahang ba tswa hole le haufi ntate ebe wena ya ba etellang pele. We pray the travel mercies, Lord. We ask you, Lord, guide them, Lord, protect them, Lord. Re kopela hore mosebetsi ona ha o tla etsuwa ntate bana ba lelapa ba tshwarane tje ka ngatana ntate ya Mosalimatle. Ibe ntate ibe ntate ya Mosalimatle. Tsena kaofela re di kopa ka lebitso le matla la Jesu Kriste. Amen.
Impa jwale ho fedile madi jwale alifi impa jwale I need your touch. I need your touch. Once again, I need your touch. Once again. Thank you for being a good audience. See you on Friday. Service on Friday, Kalaka 8 o'clock. Got 10 o'clock. For those that will be able to come